Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door is arguably one of the best GameCube offerings and most definitely one of the better Mario adventures to roam around in, especially if you're partial to an RPG, plus of course enjoy a regular challenge of rescuing the princess, this time from the clutches of an extraterrestrial bunch hell-bent on taking over the planet. 48 hours in and I have salvaged as many secrets, references and odd bits of trivia here and there, and of course Easter eggs across the game's 8 different chapters, which are full of variety to bring you this jam-packed episode. There are of course a few spoilers along the way, but this is the Easter Egg Hunter. In the first chapter, Mario wanders into Petalburg en route to Hooktail's castle, where there are a multitude of residents to chat and fall asleep to, though not this little gaming chap, as he's super cool and it's always worth stopping by for a chinwag, as on the first encounter he will plug one of Intelligent Systems' other RPGs called Fire Emblem, and later on in the same chapter the Toad will also mention he's now been playing a lot of Nintendo 64 games, especially Paper Mario, though during the intermission after chapter 1 he'll then be enjoying his GameCube in the latest title he's acquired, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. While Princess Peach will find herself imprisoned unknowingly on the moon, but she's free enough to run around and even available to take a shower. Not exactly a secret, but it's what she sings while she washes. Like the theme tune to Super Mario Bros. And the castle tune in Super Mario 64. It is also just after this section when Peach greets Tech and is able to send Mario an email, to which upon sending and Mario receiving, the Super Mario World theme tune will ring out. Chapter 2 is a little on the low side when it comes to secrets, but one in particular is a beauty and can only be heard when Mario has ventured deep into the Great Boggly Tree, where himself and an army of punies become trapped inside a cage set by the X-Nauts and Lord Crump, where upon his arrival this piece of music plays out. Most of it is completely irrelevant, as right at the very beginning that is the most interesting and captivating moment, as it turns out that these particular sounds are none other than Pac-Man dying in his very own game. There is also a second music sample to hear once the chapter concludes and Flurry has joined the gang, as after Mario makes his way back to Roports, he should receive another email, this time backed up with sounds after Mario has defeated a Koopaling from Super Mario World and just before he smashes their castle to smithereens. The third stage involves setting off via blimp to Glitzville, home to the Glitz Pit Arena and location for the next 3 hours or so, as Mario battles his way through the ranks to eventually setting up a match with Rourke Hawk, whom apparently was known as Hawk Hogan in the Spanish version based on Hulk Hogan. After reaching the Major League dressing room, another email pops up, but instead of being introduced by the Super Mario World jingle, it will now contain World 6 melody from Super Mario Bros. 3. One of the biggest references and offer in the entire game actually requires completing the third chapter and returning to the pits and replaying the entire league system once more, as when you reach the number 1 spot and walk into the arena to take on Rourke Hawk for a second time, someone in the crowd will shout out, "Jumpman!" Wait, Who? And if you didn't know, Jumpman was the original name for our plucky plumber when Miyamoto created the character for his creation of Donkey Kong. Also, on a side note, whilst visiting the merchant of Rogueport, who sells a vast quantity of goodies throughout the entire game, though at extortionate prices, he will sometimes be flogging a Jumpman badge. Twilight Town and the Creepy Steeple keep yourself incredibly busy during the workings of Chapter 4, where eventually, after much running about, we stumble into a parrot locked up in a small room guarding Mario's latest enemy's name, since it's a big secret. The parrot will reel off quite a bit of dialogue, though will repeat itself over and over again. However, if you open up all 4 chests that contain a Power Plus, Mr. Softener, a Steeple Key and the letter P, he will now utter the words "Shine Get," which is typically what appears in the Japanese version of Super Mario Sunshine after Mario grabs any Shine sprite, whereas in the American or PAL regions versions it would just say "Shine." Admiral Bobbery during the 5th quest sacrificed himself in order to save Mario and the rest of the shipwreck crew, whom are stranded upon Kill Hall Key from a group of ghosts, resulting in Bobbery coming close to death. It's when Mario reaches him shortly afterwards that Bobbery requests one last wish before setting off into the great beyond, and that's a Chocola Cola, popular drink found in Chuckle Huck Woods in Nintendo's 2003 title Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. After accomplishing this chapter, you will take control of the princess once more, where Tech will now ask Peach to sneak into Sir Grodus' office, where here the princess can pick up a data disk that must be used, to which she can insert it into a family computer disk system, or a Famicom disk system that boots up, complete with the original startup music and awesome title screen. At this point, by trekking over to Petalburg, the gaming toad now mentions he's completed Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door and now hopes for another sequel, and one that would include Luigi as a playable character. This is one of my favourite chapters throughout the game, as Mario boards the XS Express bound for Poshley Heights, which takes several exciting game days to reach. However, lurking in cabin 004, or 4 if you like, is a ghost that only appears once Mario combined with Vivian sink into the floor. This is Ghost T, a play on the word ghostly, and has been stuck in limbo for many years between the real world and the afterlife. He will ask Mario to retrieve his long-lost diary from the storage car and will specifically tell him not to read it. It's incredibly tempting, but don't, as it will only result in a game over. The interesting part about this though is that the developers stuck him in room 4, which as a number in some Asian cultures, including China plus Japan, is considered unlucky, since whilst pronouncing 4, it would sound similar to the word death. During the transitional period of Chapter 6 and 7, when Mario learns that the princess is being held captive upon the moon, a lengthy email will reach Mario from the famous actor Zip Toad in regards to his imposter you meet during the train journey. He'll also mention that he is starring in a new film, Golden Toad 2, and even quotes a line from his last flick, The Toad Warrior, a parody of the real movie Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Zip Toad finishes up the message with a picture of himself aboard the XS Express, to which you should pay attention to the background, as JR Trooper from Paper Mario on the Nintendo 64 is flying in the sky. Before Mario can blast up to the moon, you'll have to go in search of General White, and is one of the game's more tedious of tasks, and will end up taking you back to Twilight Town, which, if you spent some time there earlier, you should know that you can listen in on the crow's conversations by hiding in the ground with Vivian. Some of the chats are rather amusing, but it's not until later when you come back in the game, two crows are having this chat regarding a popular Nintendo title. After reaching the moon base, head down to sub-level 2 and exit right and take the second door, where in the corner of the room a roof hatch is unlocked. Spring jump up into the ceiling and walk on over to the far right, turning Mario sideways, helping him to slide down the grooves of this opening. Mario then finds himself in a changing room where, upon exiting, Mario and teammates are now all transformed into 8-bit versions of themselves, including Super Mario Bros. Theme music to help set the scene. And to wrap up this episode, head to Petalburg once the game has been completed, where the gaming toad will reveal he's already playing the next instalment, and not to miss out if you're a Luigi fan, which is in reference to Super Paper Mario, as Luigi finally becomes a playable character. We also haven't quite finished yet, as by travelling to Poshley Heights when the game is over, you can expect to see Bo and her butler Bootler on vacation to Poshley Sanctum, standing next to the fountain. And if you didn't know, Boo and her butler featured in the first Paper Mario. Also, head into the purple dwelling next to Poshley Heights Hotel, and the Bumpty will tell you he has been travelling backwards and forth between Poshley Heights and Shiver City, a location from Paper Mario. And on the display stand to the right of him, you can spot models of the XS Express and the K64. Hey everyone, this is James, and if you ever want to know what else I get up to, then you can always find and follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And if you're new to the channel, then why not subscribe and become part of the journey as we explore secrets, Easter eggs and glitches every single week. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.